What's going on, everybody? Dom here from Lensprotogo and Lens Rentals. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are checking out three awesome full-frame anamorphic primes. 1.6x anamorphic primes to be exact, from who else but Sirui, who at this point now has like a pretty firm stake in the world of affordable anamorphics. I have definitely done a test or two on those 1.33x anamorphics for micro four thirds sensors, which were pretty cool. They're just okay. Those don't like knock you over the head with the anamorphic look. I have a feeling these three primes are going to offer a look much closer to what you're thinking of when you're thinking about an anamorphic picture. The three focal lengths I have from this set with me right now are the 35, the 50, and this awesome 75. This entire set consists of a 100 and a 135 millimeter as well. Unfortunately, I don't have those with me today. The unfortunate part is, in my opinion anyways, anamorphic glass only gets better and better looking as you're compressing that space more and more with greater focal lengths. That's fine. Also a bummer, second scoop on the bummer Sunday going on here, I also don't have that 1.25 anamorphic adapter that they offer too. That thing is really neat. You put that behind a regular old spherical lens and that's actually going to give it a little bit of that anamorphic stretch factor, pretty minimally, only at 1.25, but for here, in our scenario, what we're doing here, I would be using that to give the 1.6x stretch factor of these primes that extra boost it needs to get to the full-on 2x cinemascope aspect ratio. So pretty neat that Sirui is giving you the option there to do that, and it's only like a $600 thing away. So that would be cool to have the option, but we don't. So you can see that on their site there, and then also here are those two other focal lengths, and then you'll also see on that website that these are all down from $1,500 to $1,350 each. So very decent price there, just like on paper, but I am not going to tell you if that's worth it or not. You can figure that out for yourself after we check out some of these tests I ran here in the studio. But first, a very brief overview of what we're getting with these lenses before we dive into those tests. And I mean very brief. So, like I said, I have three of these lenses here with me today. Size-wise, first note there, I've got to say that these are pretty minimal for decently fast anamorphic primes that cover a full frame imager. I imagine if these were any faster, like T2, or if they had that full 2x stretch factor, they would be a lot larger, which is probably contrary to their vision for this line. The 35 is easily the smallest I have of these three. It's honestly pretty much the size of like a regular photo lens. And then every other focal length after that is pretty much going to share the same exact form factor, but then just like extend out flat and straight after that little bevel up on the barrel right there. Obviously the barrel length is going to change from lens to lens, but when you mount them on the camera, these gears will always line up in the same place. They all have the same barrel diameter and front filter thread, and all of these things are going to make swapping these lenses on like a really big built-out camera rig way easier. And just taking a look down into the lens barrel there, you'll see those cyanish blue coatings on those cylindrical elements. Those are going to give us those signature blue streak flares. These lenses are front anamorphics, meaning that all these cylindrical elements are taking place at the entry pupil of the lens rather than anywhere else. Although looking at this 35 millimeter quickly, kind of looked like there was some cylindrical elements going on in the rear group of this 35 millimeter, but I think these Siruis are just going to have like a rectangular housing around the exit pupil. So they're front anamorphics, but that was a little curveball. Each prime in this set is a T2.9 at its most wide open, and as for these three lenses anyways, they're each constructed with a 10 blade aperture in the iris, where the 100 and 135 millimeters have 13 and 12 blades respectively. And just last few like design and build things, you could really tell these Siruis apart from other lenses by this nice signature cyan blue ring. And I also just noticed that that color right there is matching the coating color and the streak color that you get on the lens. So that's actually pretty neat. That blue is going to contrast nicely with this focal length marking in red, and then the rest of the lens info in white there. Nice logo at the top face of the barrel. So just at a first glance with these three, I'm getting some really consistent, uniform vibes. Consistent in the sense of optics, consistent in the sense of camera lens workflow, and hopefully now, to be determined in just a second, a consistent look from lens to lens. So now I'm gonna roll some tests that I did right here in the studio. Stop talking and make sure Kyle gets some screen time. What's up, buddy? Kyle's gonna be in there for most of the shots, and then I'm gonna hop in front of the camera so we can get some, no offense dude, actual skin tones. We're gonna kill the lights, do some flare tests. It's gonna be awesome. Don't leave me hanging, Kyle. right. Not gonna outro this video. You know the deal. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you wanna see more, hit that subscribe button. If you wanna see more but you forget things sometimes, go ahead and hit that little bell button that's next to the subscribe button, and that will keep you in the loop whenever we post new content, which is every week. So, with all that out of the way, enjoy. So where do you wanna get lunch?